to reference a little bit about the beautiful and holy nature of Lag BaOmer. So we know that today, I'm sorry. So we know that today, Lag BaOmer is special for so many different reasons, and has Kedusha associated with it. We spoke about this last night a little bit at the Medura, at the bonfire as well. But of course, on the most notable level, that today is the yahrzeit of the Tana Eloki. Today is the yahrzeit of Rav Shimon Bar Yochai. Rav Shimon Bar Yochai was special for so many reasons. And most often we understand that the power of today, the yahrzeit of Rav Shimon Bar Yochai, is because it was on this day, his last day of his life, Rav Shimon Bar Yochai conveyed what became known as the Idrozuta, the Idrabba, that on this day, Rav Shimon Bar Yochai gave over to his students what we call today Jewish mysticism, right? The esoteric body of Torah knowledge, right? Kabbalah, Zohar, Idrozuta, Idrabba, all of that Rav Shimon Bar Yochai held in his heart, but then gave it over to his students. But I'll tell you something else, another lesson of Rashbi, which is so incredibly important. You know, there's a beautiful Gemara Maseches Sukkah. The Gemara in Daf Mem Hamad Bey says, Amar Rashbi, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai says, Yachal ani liftar es kol ha'olam min hadin. Ultimately, again, I could exempt the entire world from judgment. I could exempt the entire world. I can go ahead and literally cause everyone to be free from judgment, right? How could I do that? So the Gemara says, Miyom shenivrei siyat ata. So Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai says, literally, I have the ability, he sounds like he's saying through me, to carry the weight of the sin of the entire world and to exempt all of mankind from judgment. So I'll say it's a very strong statement. How does Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai do that? So I'll say, I would draw your attention to another Gemara, the famous Gemara Masechah Shabbos. The Gemara in Shabbos, Daf Lamed Gimel Amud Beis, Lag Amud Beis. I will say, is the story of Rabbi Shimon, it's a good way to remember, the story of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai and Rabbi Elazar in the cave is on Daf Lag. Is on Daf Lamed Gimel. It's incredible. So Rabbi say, you know the story, they were in the cave, they came out of the cave. The first time they came out of the cave wasn't so good. Everywhere they looked, they destroyed. The second time they came out of the cave, the Gemara says that Rabbi Shimon and his son Rabbi Elazar couldn't believe that people were working. They had lived such a kaddish and esoteric life that they couldn't believe that people were spending time in mundane matters. And everywhere they looked, they destroyed. Everywhere they looked, they destroyed. So that was the first time. Then they were sent back into the cave. The second time they come out. And what happens? They see, it's Erev Shabbos, and they see an old man running with 2 bundles of myrtle branches. And Rav Shimon Bar Yochai says to the man, he says, why are you running with why 2 bundles of myrtle branches? And the old man said, Echad kineged zachar, but echad kineged shamar. One ultimately again for zachar, one for shamar. And Rabbi Shimon turns to Rabbi Elazar and he says to his son, Amar le librei, kama chavivin mitzvos al Yisrael. You see how much Klal Yisrael loves mitzvos. Klal Yisrael loves mitzvos. And I will say, what was happening during that exchange is everywhere Rabbi Elazar looked, Rabbi Elazar saw people who were shirking their spiritual responsibilities and totally immersed in mundane day-to-day life. And what Rashbi saw this old man carrying 2 bundles, rushing home from work, carrying 2 bundles. And he said to his sons, Kama chaviv in mitzvos al Yisrael. Look how much Klal Yisrael loves mitzvos. And I will say what was happening in that moment was Rashbi exhibiting incredible avas Yisrael. Was Rashbi showing his son that if you want to be a member of Klal Yisrael, you have to see the good. You have to see the positive. It is easy to look at people and to see what is broken. It is easy to look at people and to see that which is damaged and in a state of disrepair. But if you want to really lift up Klal Yisrael, if you want to really move the needle for Klal Yisrael, if you really want to do something, it is all about Abbas Yisrael. And it's all about seeing the good. It is so easy and it is so tempting. And sometimes it actually feels so good to tear people down. But what happens when we tear each other down? What happens when we disrespect each other? What happens when it's lo nagu kavod zeh la zeh? Klal Yisrael is decimated. Klal Yisrael is torn apart. Kama chavivin. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai says, Rabbi Elazar, stop being such a purist. Stop looking for perfection. See the good in the simple Jew who's running home on Erev Shabbos with 2 bundles of myrtle branches. That's our vote. And I think that's the pshat. When Rashbi says, Yochol ani liftoras kol ha'olam min adin, I can save the entire world from judgment. What do you mean you can save the entire world from judgment? Rashbi says, it's not me, but this idea that I tried to convey to my son of Avas Yisrael, of seeing the good, of loving every Jew. That's what saves the world from judgment. That's what saves the world from judgment. Hossein, it's like BaOmer, and we have the yahrzeit of Rashbi, Rabbi Akiva's 5 new students, a day of such koach, and it's a day that we have to recommit ourselves to Avas Yisrael. We have disagreements, we have differences of opinion, we have this, we have that, whether it's within our families, within our shul, within a greater kila, within a community, within an am. It's time to set it aside. Rashbi tells us, if you want to save Klal Yisrael from din, it's all about kama chaviv and mitzvos al bnei Yisrael. It's all about Avas Yisrael. And if each of us could just take upon ourselves on this Lag BaOmer to love our fellow Jew just a little bit more, then the light of the Lag BaOmers of bonfire will catch, right? And the bonfires Lag BaOmer, that light will Amir Hashem turn into a raging fire of Avas Yisrael. And a raging fire of Avas Yisrael will Amir Hashem turn into the raging fire of Mashiach Mihira B'Yameinu. Amen.